When you think of African American quarterbacks, Warren Moon, Doug Williams, and Michael Vick might come to mind. But in 1968, Marlin the Magician Briscoe paved the way for these future greats, becoming the first African American to start at the quarterback position. In his 9-year career, he won 2 Super Bowls and was a member of the undefeated 1972 Dolphins. Now at the age of 66, Marlin is not only a pioneer of the game, but part of its history. Hi, I'm Thomas Miller, and I'm here at the original Roadhouse Grill in Riverside. It's Monday Night Football. We're here in conjunction with Prevent Child Abuse of Riverside County, and I have the privilege and the honor of sitting with one of the NFL greats, one of the legends, Marlin Briscoe. Hey Marlin, how you doing?
Doing good and doing very well, thank you.
First of all, let's get right into it. Tell us about you and your career.
I've been a quarterback ever since Pop Warner League and all the way up through flag football and junior high school, and also in college. And it's a position I always coveted. I like the position because watching Johnny Unitas and Bart Starr on TV, and they gave the orders, so I wanted to be a shot caller, and that's what I wanted to do. And of course, that was unheard of back in the 50s and the 60s, the era in which I grew up, basically, and not only from the quarterback perspective, because there weren't any black quarterbacks, but it was a precarious time in 1960s, 50s, and the 60s for African Americans in any endeavor which they chose to pursue. And the quarterback, of course, was a very coveted position by all Americans, but particularly white Americans. And I should not have been the first black quarterback. There were other quarterbacks, blacks, that played that position in college and prior to college that should have gotten an opportunity. But because of the time, because it was just not heard of, we were always switched to another position. So they always deemed us as being athletes. So that would give the powers to be an excuse or a reason to switch us to another position. I always wondered why they didn't switch Fran Tarkenton or Bob Greasy and those others who had the mobility that at that position, but they always switched the black quarterback at that position. So I was pretty adamant about playing the game at that position, at the quarterback position, because I wanted to be a leader, and I always played it, and I'd always been in a leadership role. And I got an opportunity. It was a very, it was a crazy situation. It was, pretty much a fluke the way it happened. But for some reason, I was anointed to get that opportunity. I made the best of it. Even though I only played 1 year, I proved that a black man could think, throw, and lead on that level. And those were some of the things that naysayers said that black men couldn't do. So I think that I did well enough to give the future black quarterbacks an opportunity to play the position. Even the ones that came after me, it was still difficult for them because that aura about that position, it hadn't cleared yet. But in I played quarterback for the Denver Broncos. I was the first black starting quarterback, not the first black quarterback, but the first black starting quarterback, and that was 1968. In 1969, 4 blacks were drafted as quarterbacks and not changed position. So if I had a legacy, I proved that we could do that, whether you're black, Hispanic, didn't matter. If given the opportunity, and that's what everything is all about in life, is the opportunity, and then pursue that opportunity. You can do anything that you want to do. So that's basically how it happened.
Not only do you have the legacy of being the first starting African American quarterback, but you also have another legacy. Tell us about being on that infamous, undefeated 1972 Dolphins.
Exactly. I was a wide receiver along with Paul Warfield, on that team. Howard Twilley, Otto Stowe was Paul's backup. I was traded from Buffalo to Miami, where Buffalo had made all pros in the league in catches, and I went from 1-13 to 17-0 in the transition from that trade, and so they said it was one of the biggest turnarounds in the history of the game. So, but I always thought that I wanted to quarterback a Super Bowl team. As a matter of fact, I beat Bob Greasy head up, when we were playing, and I ended up being, his receiver sometime down the road. But I often thought if I could quarterback myself through a Super Bowl, but I'll take the 2 rings that we won.
There you go.
And I'm very proud of that team. A lot of people say that we were grumpy old men because we don't want that record broken. But it's far from the truth. It's a team record. If it was an individual record and you don't want it to be broken, that's one thing. But it's a team record that we're all very proud of, and quite truthfully, we don't want that record to be broken. And it's not about being selfish. It's about a bunch of proud guys who accomplished something no one has ever done since then. So that team was great. We were a team in all sense of the word, and we ran on all cylinders. It's like the game of golf. You just can't have a driver. You just can't have a putter. You got to have all facets of the game to be a great golfer, and that's what we did as a team with the Dolphins in that improbable run that we had.
We're here tonight because of Prevent Child Abuse of Riverside County. Tell us about how you got involved in this terrific organization.
Well, I got involved through Tammy Alexander, who was the wife of a very good friend of mine, and the guy I played against back in pro ball, Kermit Alexander, who was a great player in himself. And Kermit and I worked together in paving the way for free agency back when free agency was just a word. It wasn't actuality, and Kermit and I worked hand in hand, representing. I was a player rep. Kermit, of course, very knowledgeable about the inner workings and the rights of players. We didn't have many rights back in those days, especially we didn't make the money that they're making.
Right.
But I got involved through Kermit and Tammy. I have a football camp, and they support my football camp, and I've supported them, and so we've supported each other, and it's a friendship and a respect, and what they're doing is what brought me to their organization.
Before we wrap up here, Marlin, I want you to give that one piece of advice, no matter if it's a high school ball player, college ball player, or someone coming into the NFL. What's the one piece of advice that you would give them?
Never give up. That's my mantra. Never give up. And you can overcome any obstacle that comes your way. I had some downsides to my life after football, and it's been well chronicled, and very difficult times for me and my family and friends, but my never give up attitude that I had to have growing up in the era of the 50s and 60s and into the 70s. If I had have given up, you wouldn't be talking to me now. And I think that's very, very critical. Not only to young people, but anybody, but particularly our young people, because they're at a crossroads in life where there's so many negative things they could get involved with now. It was even more so than when we were growing up, because we had a family, a village, so to speak, that raised us with the modern age now, that parents are working. They have all this influence with gangs, drugs, stuff that we didn't have and weren't allowed to have, even if your mom or your father wasn't home. And so, there's so much information out there, with technology, internet, Skype, Twitter, and stuff I don't even know how to use, but there's just so much other things out there that kids can get involved with that aren't that healthy if they don't use it wisely. So, they're going to have times. They're going to have hard times. Anybody that's living will have hard times. But just don't give up. Don't give up on your education. Don't give up on your friends. Don't give up on your parents. There are a lot of things that there's a process to. And if I had anything, like I said before, anything that I wanted to relate to young people, is never give up.
I want to thank you, Marlin, so much for taking time out of your schedule, sitting down, talking with me. You're an amazing individual. And don't forget, folks, we're here every Monday night this season to help prevent child abuse of Riverside County.